Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero podcast, the show where I cover the least in the best way possible. I'm your host, Jason Wells. Today is Friday, December 6th. Right now, I got Lucy sleeping nicely on the couch next to me. I'm sure I will disturb her at some point and she will leave. But right now, I got a bit of a co-host. Week 14 of the NFL season, though, coming towards the end. This is the last week for most people's fantasy seasons before we get into the playoffs. On that 12-hour train ride from hell back from Toronto on Monday, Cam and I spent 2 hours going over every single playoff scenario for my league. It was a lot of fun. I guess it was a lot of fun, but good week of football. Not any huge games necessarily. The Thursday night game, Packers-Lions, that will be a big one. I will give a blind recap of that. NFL Weekly Update. As always, lots to talk about in the NFL Weekly Update. Goddamn. And then, as always, I will do the Week 14 preview. Let's get into it here. NFL Weekly Update time. We'll start off with the injuries. Zach Martin, ankle surgery. He's out for the rest of the year, and that might be his career. Zach Martin is, when I first started really following the NFL draft, Zach Martin was someone who I wanted the Dolphins to draft so badly. I wanted him. He was excellent, and he has had a Hall of Fame career. He has consistently been one of the best guards in the league since he's been drafted. And if this is the end for him, sad it's going out this way, but Zach Martin, hell of a career if this is the end of it. Dexter Lawrence out for the year with a dislocated elbow. Might as well shut him down with the way the Giants season are going. Secure that number 1 overall pick, maybe. And rookie tight end Theo Johnson also out for the rest of the year for those Giants. Don't know what the injury was. Didn't look too far into it because it's Theo Johnson. It's not as important as some of these other guys here. Christian McCaffrey out for the year with a PCL tear. Obviously, that sucks. He worked very hard to get back to the Niners just to hurt his knee. Don't know what the future holds for him and the Niners. They got some important decisions to make this offseason anyways, but CMC out for the rest of the year. Jordan Mason on IR with an ankle injury. I think it's an ankle sprain, but he's out for the next 4 games at least, which I think is the 14, 15, 16, 17. Technically, he can be back for Week 18 if he chooses to be, but right now, Isaac Guerendo, the rookie, one of my favorite rookies, is going to be taking all the touches in that backfield. J.K. Dobbins, MCL sprain. He has had a terrific season since coming back from his multiple injuries. He will be back for the playoffs because the Chargers are going to make the playoffs. I was definitely wrong about that. J.K. Dobbins should be the favorite for comeback player of the year, and he's for some reason not even in the top 5. It's a broken award. It is what it is. Austin Eckler goes on IR with, I believe, a knee injury. That's unfortunate. He was having a good season for the Commanders. Malcolm Rodriguez tears his ACL for the Lions, just one of the many Lions injuries that's happened over the last couple weeks. He wasn't even starting for them, and then as soon as he gets put into the starting spot, tears his ACL. Lions got a lot of injuries that they're dealing with. Logan Wilson, the Bengals linebacker, is cleaning up his knee, getting a knee surgery, so he's obviously out for the year. That bad Bengals defense just keeps getting worse. Trevor Lawrence is obviously done for the season. Got put on IR with that concussion, and he already had the shoulder injury, so now he's getting the surgery for that. He's done for the year. Makes sense. The Jags come back next year. It'll be fine. Taysom Hill has an ACL injury. That sucks. Taysom is now, I think he's 34 or 35. We'll see how the Saints kind of treat him in the offseason. But again, just a fun player who's had a very interesting career. Can leave it at that. And then someone who's not out for the season, but out for at least this game anyways. Stephon Gilmore has a low-grade hamstring injury. So they'll test him. They'll see how he does. But realistically, he is out for at least this week. That's the injury updates. Let's get into these Get into the news here. Matt Eberflus has obviously been fired. We're more, actually, I guess when you're listening to us, we're a week out from the Matt Eberflus thing, so I don't have to really spend much time on that. Obviously deserves to get fired. He was terrible. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Was the first Bears coach fired in their 100-year history during the season. Now Thomas Brown becomes their head coach, and what a rise he has had from Panthers OC last year, fired. Then he becomes the Bears running backs coach. Then he was the Bears interim offensive coordinator. Now he's their interim head coach. Shout out to Thomas Brown. That's great. We'll talk more about him during their preview. But the Bears are looking, obviously, for their new head coach. They'll give Thomas Brown a look, I'm sure, but I doubt he'll be the guy. And what Ryan Poles and the front office keeps harping on is we want a leader of men. That doesn't scream Ben Johnson to me. I think Ben Johnson is a very good X's and O's guy, but when it comes to, again, you've got to lead a team of 53 people every single week, both sides of the ball. Doesn't sound like Ben Johnson really fits that mold that the Bears want. Guys who do, Mike Vrabel, obviously, Aaron Glenn, and maybe if they want to go the offensive coach route, John Gruden. John Gruden has been getting his name back out there slightly. He got that job with Barstool. He is now in Chicago. Maybe John Gruden, that would be a little crazy to me, but John Gruden definitely wants to get back into coaching at some point. And he already lives in Chicago, so maybe. James Conner gets a 2-year, $19 million extension. Definitely deserved. Had a very good start to his career in Pittsburgh. They got rid of Le'Veon Bell. He became the bell cow, and just kind of injuries played out, but has revived his career in Arizona and has been a very good back for them over these last couple of years. Gets rewarded for it. Shout out James Conner. Walker Little, the Jags tackle, gets a 3-year, $45 million extension, with 26 of that being guaranteed. After the Jags traded Cam Robinson away, this just kind of opened the door for Walker Little to be their starter, and he has been, again, solid, consistent. They don't really have any backup plans, and tackles hitting the open market usually get more than what Walker Little would have got paid, but he gets that security. Shout out to Walker Little. Azeez Al-Shire has been suspended 3 games for his hit on Trevor Lawrence, his late hit on Trevor Lawrence, and I thought he definitely deserved to be suspended. 3 games seems a little nuts to me, given, I don't know, what the NFL usually suspends like people for. It's like, oh, you get a DUI, oh, that's only 1 game, if that. But again, it was a late hit, but the QB slides and the fake slides, it's tough for defenders to make plays, especially when they're full speed. I'm not excusing what Al-Shire did, but 3 games seems a little much. He tried to appeal it. The NFL said immediately, fuck off. No, we're giving you that 3 games. Is what it is. And I was like on Al-Shire's side, and then he posted oh, you want to make me the villain? I guess I'll be the villain, and with like a Joaquin Phoenix Joker picture. It's just what a dork. I'm out on him. Happy he's suspended 3 games, I guess. Keep going here. Oh no, that's not it. Deontay Johnson has been suspended 1 game for the Ravens for refusing to play in the game against the Eagles. He's obviously been not happy with how the Ravens have been using him since he's been acquired in a trade, but he's also not shown the Ravens anything of like, okay, why should we consistently use you? The lack of effort has shown up, the bad attitude. And all this to say, a lot of credit to Mike Tomlin for over the years for dealing with all of the crazy wide receivers he's had to deal with. Obviously, it starts with Antonio Brown. Martavis Bryant was a nut job. Chase Claypool, not a nut job when you're comparing him to like Antonio Brown, but definitely full of himself, thought he was much better than he is. And I don't even know if he's actually, I think he was on the Bills and then he hurt himself this year, so he's not playing. Who else was crazy? We got Deontay Johnson, and now they're dealing with George Pickens, where George Pickens, you can already see the crazy in Pittsburgh. If he goes anywhere else, that might be a disaster. But Mike Tomlin consistently gets the best out of his guys, and that's why he is one of the best coaches in the league. But yeah, Deontay Johnson doing this in a contract year, not great, has absolutely tanked his value the entire 2024 season. Interesting to see what the offseason holds for him. Now we have Eric Ebron, the former Lions first-round pick, has retired from the league. Not much to say, other than, again, he was a first-round pick as a tight end, was the number 10 overall pick in that 2014 draft. 8-year career. Yeah, 8-year career for him. It's a good career. Made a Pro Bowl in 2018 with the Colts. Trying to find what his best season was. Yeah, that season with the Colts, 66 catches, 750 yards, 13 touchdowns. Yeah, was never extremely productive. I think he went to North Carolina. If I remember that off the top of my head, I'll be impressed with myself. He did go to North Carolina. Look at me and my draft knowledge. But yeah, he was a very solid player. I mean, not really. He had a lot of drops. But again, carving out an 8-year career. Shout out to Eric Ebron. Guess we can keep going here. Talking about first-round picks, Emmanuel Forbes has been cut by Washington. Unbelievable. Their 2023 first-round pick is now off the team. So much to say about this in general. Emmanuel Forbes should have never been taken at that slot, mainly because there was a man named Christian Gonzalez, who I think most people had top 10 on their big boards, and was taken the pick after the Commanders did, because for some reason they wanted Forbes, the guy who's 6 feet, $140 soaking wet. Yeah, the Rams picked him up. Obviously, you hope that he can restart his career just a little bit. He still is very young, athletic. You hope he puts on a little bit of weight anyways, maybe starts going in and out on the West Coast there. But that is now 6 first-round picks since 2019 that Washington has drafted that are now off their team. Started with Montez Sweat getting traded to the Bears. They cut not Hassan Haskins, but Dwayne Haskins. Chase Young got traded. Jamin Davis just got cut a few weeks ago, I believe. Jahan Dotson traded before this season started, and now Emmanuel Forbes. There is a reason a complete new regime, complete new ownership has taken over this team, because it was so dysfunctional for so goddamn long. So hopefully Forbes kind of hits his stride in LA. The Commanders have a guy right now who Miami drafted in 2020, Noah Igbenogany, who has been their starting nickel for most of the season. And we casted him off very, very soon. Went to Dallas, followed Dan Quinn over to the Commanders, and now he's a starting corner. Shout out to Noah. I guess Brian Flores had it right, just needed to take a little bit of time. Brevin Jordan, the Texans tight end, signs a 1-year extension with them. Hasn't played it down this season, tore his ACL in the offseason, but they obviously liked him enough to be like, hey, we want to keep you at least for 1 more year. Shout out to Brevin Jordan. Got some little bit of college news here, but Bill Belichick has interviewed for North Carolina's open head coaching job. Now, I don't know why Bill would want to get into the college game. It seems like a disaster to try to deal with it from a coaching standpoint, the recruiting standpoint. Everything is changing right now in college, and to be in that spot where the landscape is so shaky, I don't know. Maybe it's because his girlfriend is also in college, and he can relate to the college kids now. But I don't think he takes this job. Obviously, North Carolina would love to have him, but also seems like a weird move from North Carolina to go from Mac Brown, who's a dinosaur, to go to Bill Belichick, who is a slightly less younger dinosaur, I guess. Would be a weird move, but hey, he interviewed there. That's kind of where the story stops. Next note up here, keeping in the college football ranks, Andrew Luck becomes Stanford football's de facto general manager. Obviously, he will have his hand in recruiting, but this is huge for Stanford football in general. Andrew Luck, obviously one of the most prestigious players to have ever played at that program. And now he gets to help build that program back up to where it was when he was there. Very cool. I'm happy to see Andrew Luck kind of resolve his issues with football, because again, he talked about it, I think, on the Pat McAfee show, where he walked away from the game and he lost a part of himself and he didn't know, and the fact that he can work his way back into football makes me happy. Happy he's involved in football in some aspect, and happy he gets to rebuild his alma mater from the ground up, essentially. So cool to see what Stanford football does in the next few years with Andrew Luck. And then finally, I have a Masked Singer update. I don't know why. First of all, I don't even know why The Masked Singer is still a show. It's on his 12th season right now. I thought that that show was maybe lasting 1 or 2 seasons. The fact that it's at 12, I don't understand the appeal of it. Whatever. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because Rams defensive tackle Kobe Turner placed in the top 4 as Goo. He was the Goo mascot, apparently. But yeah, Kobe Turner has some pipes on him. Can carry a tune, came in the top 4. Just a weird thing that I need to bring up. I didn't really need to bring up because it's my own show. I can talk about whatever I want. But Kobe Turner as Goo comes top 4 in The Masked Singer season 12. None of those words I thought I would ever say while recording this, but here we are. So that's the NFL Weekly Update. Let's get into this blind Thursday Night Football recap. Packers at Lions. The Lions run. It's not over, but they take a loss in this one. All of those defensive injuries in the last couple weeks, they just crept up, and the Lions played a really good, playing good football Packers team, and it was still a close one, but the Packers do come away in this one. No DJ Reader. They're missing their linebackers. They signed Jamal Adams, who was playing linebacker for them now, but could not stop Josh Jacobs and this Packers run game. Jordan Love, despite the couple mistakes and the turnover, they were good enough in general. Sonic and Knuckles doing their thing, but at the end of the day, that Lions defense has taken multiple hits on the season right now, and they just didn't have it in this one. And that's fine. They've been playing unbelievable football for a long time now, so the fact that they lose this one, it's a regroup for them. It's not a bad thing. But the Packers, they creep up 1 win closer for that division. The Vikings now on Sunday are, oh my God, are we about to be 1 game away, or tied for the division actually, but final score in this one, Packers 27, Lions 24. That is your blind Thursday Night Football recap. And let's get into this Week 14 preview now. We got 6 teams on bye, which is helping me a lot for my fantasy playoff scenarios right now. We got the Ravens on bye, we got the Broncos on bye, we have the Texans on bye, the Commanders on bye, the Colts on bye, and the Patriots on bye. Crazy to have six teams on bye this late into the season, but I don't make the schedule. So let's get into it here. Falcons at Vikings. Vikings minus 5.5. Total set at 45.5. The Falcons have been playing extremely bad football. And when I say the Falcons, I mainly mean Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has not been playing good football. 0 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in his last 3 games. But this is a revenge game for Kirk. The Vikings let him go. The Vikings are playing great football. We'll see if there's a little bad blood between the Vikings and Kirk. I don't really know. But how can I trust what I've seen from the Falcons over these last few weeks to be like, this is the team that's going to defeat the 10-2 Vikings, who they've had their ups and downs, but they have been very consistently good the entire year. Falcons defense played good against the Chargers last week, but the Chargers don't have guys like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones. I don't give the Falcons a chance in this one. Maybe if Kirk plays really good. Because, again, the Falcons do have a lot of good weapons to use, and this isn't... It's a good Vikings defense, not a great one. Brian Flores obviously has them playing really well. The pass rush, the blitzing, it's all there. But if Kirk can make those throws that he just hasn't been doing, maybe. I'm not out on Kirk as a quarterback. I just think Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins at the end of the day. No real bets in this one other than I think the Vikings are going to win. We can keep going. Saints at Giants. Saints -4. Total set at 40.5. This game stinks. This game will not be on my red zone whatsoever. Bless me. Sorry. Where was I talking? Yeah. However, even with the no Dexter... I'm not going to talk myself into the Giants for like the millionth time this season. But it's Giants at home. I don't know. I expect nothing from this game. And why should I expect anything? The Giants obviously want to lose this game. They want to have control of which QB they end up picking in this draft class. A win here would be detrimental for what the Giants are trying to do for the next few years anyways. I don't know. Neither of these teams instill confidence in me. I don't think the Darren Rizzi head coaching bump, I think that's done. The Rams beat them. It was fairly close, but the Rams did beat them. Drew Lock has enough, I don't even know. This isn't a fun game. Again, Derek Carr throwing MVS. They don't have Taysom Hill anymore, so I don't know what the hell they're going to do now. They still got Kamara. Bub Means, is he going to make a comeback? I think he's on IR. Yeah, I don't know. Malik Neighbors, technically it's not a homecoming because they're not at New Orleans, but he's playing his college team's pro team. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I've spent way too long on this game. I lean the Giants, I guess. This game is not going to be good, and the Giants want to lose. We'll keep talking about another terrible game here. Jags at Titans. Titans -3.5. Total set of 39.5. No Trevor Lawrence. Mac Jones is starting. It's a boring, meaningless game between two of the bottom feeders in the AFC right now. Both of these teams wanting to lose. Well, at least the fan bases want them to lose. They want that higher draft pick. Yeah, I don't know. This game sucks. The Titans should win. The Titans have a better constructed roster and a team that actually fights hard compared to Doug Peterson, who has been a dead man walking since week 2, basically, but has not been fired for whatever reason. I really got nothing to say. What else am I supposed to say about this one? So we can keep going. Raiders at Bucks. Bucks -6.5. Total set of 46.5. Raiders coming off an emotional loss against the Chiefs in a game where they probably should have beat the number 1 seed in the AFC, but didn't. I don't believe Aiden O'Connell can put back-to-back good games together. Brock Bowers, Rookie of the Year, should be a real thing that people are talking about, and I'm expecting him to continue his incredible all-pro season as a rookie for him. And again, my other talking point for the Raiders, Max Crosby on that other side, he's also really good. I guess the one thing I can talk about the Raiders is their running back situation has been abysmal, dog shit all season. And it might be time for rookie Sincere McCormick to take the charge. He averaged, I think it was 5.6 yards per carry on his limited snaps, but that's the best running back, or that's the best any Raiders running back has looked so far this season. Maybe he gets more involved, maybe fantasy-wise, that's someone who, for people to consider when we got all these bye weeks this week, that maybe Sincere McCormick is someone you pick up who maybe be able to get you some points this week. And then down for the rest of the season, maybe he becomes their RB1, and having anyone's RB1 in fantasy, regardless of how they actually play, is good. Good bench depth. I'm not saying start him for the rest of the year or whatever, but Sincere McCormick is, I guess, a guy to look out for. The Bucks should win this one. Again, Mike Evans overs. I'm taking that every week. They are going to try to get that man 1,000 yards. I can guarantee that. But let's keep going here. Browns, Steelers. Steelers minus 6.5. Total set at 46.5. Bit of a revenge game for the Steelers after getting beaten in that snow game just a few weeks ago. 6.5. That seems a little big. Obviously, the Steelers' offense looked incredible last week. That's the best Russ has looked in years, probably since he's been a Seahawk. But I don't believe that that's the Steelers' offense. I believe that the Bengals have one of the worst defenses in football, and that's why they look so good. The Browns are playing hard. I think that's all you can really say. I think the Steelers are probably going to win this one because there won't be a foot of snow on the ground while they play. They've got more going for them, I guess, at this point. But I'm not expecting some high-scoring game. I think the total's at 46.5. I think this should be a lower-scoring game. I don't expect the Steelers' offense back-to-back weeks to put up 1,000,000 points like they did. And I don't expect the Browns to do it either. Either way, this is going to be a fun matchup. Any divisional matchup in the AFC North is a fun matchup. So I'm on the Steelers. I think this is going to be lower scoring than the total projects. But I think we can leave it at that. Next game up here, Panthers, Eagles. Eagles minus 13. Total set at 45.5. I'm excited to see how Bryce Young looks against one of the best defenses in the NFL right now. He has looked very good over these last couple weeks, which is, again, it's great. And I'm happy, I guess, I think they're early on when he got benched in the season where I'm like, I'm officially off Bryce Young, but I feel like I deserve some leeway because I was very high on the Panthers going into this year, and if the Bryce we've gotten over the last few weeks was the Bryce we got at the start of the season, I think the Panthers would be... I think that they would be competing for a playoff spot right now, especially given with how the NFC South looks right now. Falcons, Bucks, both 6-6. I think the Panthers have 3 wins right now. Like, maybe, I don't know. They've had some injuries. Derek Brown is obviously a huge loss for that defense. They traded away Deontay Johnson, but who cares because he's a nut job apparently. The Eagles are going to win this one. Don't let me confuse you with me talking about the Panthers, I guess. But I'm excited, again, seeing what the Panthers are building to, seeing what Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks, what that duo looks like. Again, they're playing a very, very good defense. And there's a chance that they get whooped, they get killed. But if you can see the progress and Bryce Young doesn't look like ass and everything falls apart, that is good. I want to take the Panthers plus 13. I'm not, but I want to. Eagles on the other side, again, it should be an easy win, but easy wins don't usually happen for Nick Sirianni because, again, the man's still an idiot. I don't care unless... He probably has to win a Super Bowl for me to change my opinion on him, but I will keep calling the man an idiot until he does win a Super Bowl. We'll keep going. Jets at Dolphins. Dolphins minus 5.5. Total set at 45.5. So after an extremely disappointing Thursday night game last week, luckily we have the Jets on the schedule who had maybe an even more disappointing game against the Seahawks where they had a chance to go up 28-17 early and then that pick six to Leonard Williams, and then you can just see how disinterested Aaron Rodgers is about everything right now. And the vibes are just so bad in the Jets. And people talk about, like, oh, the vibes in Miami and, oh, we're a soft team, and all of that might be true. Yeah, I mean, it is true. But as bad as we are and as bad as I can feel about my team, the Jets are 1,000,000 times worse. It's like, we might be a dumpster fire, but they're I don't know, they're a garbage dump that's on fire. They're that floating island of trash in the ocean that just keeps going and getting bigger. We should win this one. We better fucking, yeah, if we don't win, I'm gonna we're gonna win this one. This defense does not scare me. Ahmad Gardner will get cooked by whoever. Yeah, we're gonna win this one. I should be confident we're going to win this one. The Jets are just such a big dumpster fire. It doesn't matter. I'm not worried about losing to the Jets. We should not lose to the Jets. If we do lose to the Jets, I don't even know. We will come to that next week on Wednesday's episode if we do lose to the Jets. Next game here, NFC West divisional matchup. Seahawks versus the Cardinals. Cardinals minus 2.5. Total set at 44.5. So the Seahawks currently lead this NFC West division. I think the Cardinals are one game behind them. And the Seahawks have been playing good football. At least their defense has been playing good football. Leonard Williams has been a stud the last few weeks. That defensive line is really getting pressure, and that's something that Mike McDonald does, is he schemes up pressure beautifully. Cardinals, on the other side, have looked okay. The offense has looked out of sync kind of the last couple weeks. The defense is playing hard, but I'm kind of shocked that the Seahawks aren't favored to win this one. But again, the Seahawks have been up and down all season. They're a hard team to bet on because you just don't know what version of the Seahawks you're getting. Their offense has kind of looked a little out of sorts. It's the defense that has been carrying them these last couple weeks. But I don't know. I hope Marvin Harrison Jr. has a big game because I think I'm going to sneak into the fantasy playoffs. I'm fairly confident, but when I'm confident about anything, it usually comes crashing down, and I guess we'll find out on Sunday. But yeah, this is huge for the scope of that division, who's going to come away on top. We'll keep going though. Bills at Rams. Bills minus 3.5. Total set at 49.5. I keep waiting every week for the Bills to have their game where they play down to their opponent and come away with a loss and blah, blah, blah. And this might be it. This might be a trap game for the Rams. Bye, Lucy. You lasted fairly long. You can go sleep on the floor now. Good job. Good job. Yeah, I'm not going to pick the Rams to win this one and call my shot because the Bills should win. The Bills are the better team. I also should have brought up in the NFL Weekly Update that Micah Hyde has signed back with the Bills. He's on their practice squad right now. I'm sure he'll get elevated at some point, but that is a great veteran addition, someone who knows what they do, what they run. The locker room already loves him. The fan base already loves him. And hey, if they want to come get their guy in Miami too, that would be great. Jordan Poyer is a bum. But good for them to have Micah Hyde back. Dalton Kincaid, questionable to come back. I think Keon Coleman will probably play. The Bills are awesome. And the Bills have not had that game where they play down to their opponent. They look shitty. And I don't know. This might be a different Bills team than it's been in years past. I have no idea. But the Bills are just kicking ass right now, and I don't know why they wouldn't. Josh Allen, MVP, is full steam ahead right now, and if they get Keon Coleman back, I think that passing attack opens up a little more than what it's been the last couple weeks, but this should be a fun game. I am very excited to watch this one. Final late afternoon game here. Bears at Niners. Niners minus 3.5. Total set at 43.5. So this is one of these bets where I'm gonna have an offseason show about it, but interim head coaching bump. It is real. And now Thomas Brown has gone from running backs coach to offensive coordinator, now head coach. And I am on the Bears this week. The Niners have just looked so out of sorts. They have a million injuries. Their team's just been going through a lot this year, and the offense especially has looked very out of sorts. Kittle is not always their main guy. He probably should get more of a role in the offense given all the injuries to all the weapons that they have. Deebo Samuel is a fun athlete to have on the field, but he's getting older and hasn't looked relatively the same. Jawan Jennings, again, I said it on Wednesday's show, he's a fun number 2, but having that guy be your number 1, not that great. And Ricky Pearsall is just running cardio right now. There's not a lot to be optimistic if you're a Niners fan right now, which, again, it's a lost season. Everyone has been injured in some shape or form. Like Kittle and Deebo, they have their minor injuries throughout the year. Ayuk has his ACL tear. Ricky Pearsall got shot in the chest. Trent Williams has been hurt. Javon Hargrave's been out with a torn bicep. Nick Bosa has been out. Fred Warner's had a broken ankle since October. Dre Greenlaw hasn't played a game yet after tearing his Achilles in the Super Bowl. Charvarius Ward's hurt. It's Talanoa Hufanga. Everyone has been hurt on the Niners, across the entire team. And this interim head coaching bump, I think, is real. I will be betting the Bears. And I think the Bears have been playing pretty decent football. I think this defense is going to play very, very hard, very aggressive for their new coach, because they did not like Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus was hated in that locker room. Jalen Johnson, after the Lions game, was screaming at Matt Eberflus because he was such an idiot. And now the offense has looked better since Thomas Brown has taken over play calling duties, and I think that offense continues to play well. I think that defense stops whatever the Niners are trying to do. I'm on the Bears in this one. Buy into that interim head coaching bump. That is all I'll say, but I am on the Bears. Sunday night football here. Chargers at Chiefs. Chiefs -4. Total set at 42.5. I don't know why. Again, the Chiefs are going to win. That's just what they do. They win games. They don't win pretty games, but they win games where Chargers injuries, again, for a normal Chargers season, this has been very good injury-wise. No back-breaking, devastating injuries. Obviously, losing J.K. Dobbins hurts, but that run game is not going to be the same with Gus Edwards and Kamani Vidal. Ladd McConkey has been having a great season, but I don't think that, again, him being the only weapon. The only way that the Chargers win this game is if they hold the Chiefs to under 20 points. And I don't think that they're going to do that. I think it's as simple as that. The Falcons should have probably won, but Kirk played absolutely terrible football. Yeah, the Chiefs are going to win this one. It's not going to be pretty. They're going to come away with the win. People are going to complain, the refs, they did it again. They always favorite the Chiefs. Shut up. If you complain about the refs, you're a fucking loser. Yeah, the Chiefs are going to win. It's as simple as that. That's what they do. They win. Chiefs football doesn't matter until the playoffs. For me, it's irrelevant. Again, they are right now on pace to be the 1 seed. And I don't know why. I'm not changing my opinion on them until they give me a legit reason to change my opinion on them. And finally, Monday Night Football. Bengals at Cowboys. Bengals -5.5? It should be Bengals -5.5. Yeah, Bengals -5.5. Total set at 49.5. This is the Simpsons game. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you know how sometimes the NFL does their alternate broadcasts where they've done Toy Story, they've done SpongeBob, so now they're doing the Simpsons, which would be very cool. But people were asking months, or I think a month ago, to be hey, can we get this game flexed out? And the NFL said, no, we can't flex out this game because so much of the animation work has been done for the Cowboys and the Bengals where that they can't lose that work. So this is why we have Bengals Cowboys Monday Night Football, even though we definitely shouldn't. Two teams that suck. Two teams that had high expectations going into the year who have just failed miserably. We have the incredibly shitty Cowboys offense going against the incredibly shitty Bengals defense. Really, it's movable object versus stoppable force. We'll see who gives way. I have no idea. Joe Burrow's having an excellent season. Obviously, if it wasn't for the Bengals defense just losing them games time after time again, he would be the front runner for MVP right now. I'm interested to see what the Cowboys defense does. Micah Parsons, since coming back from his injury, has looked very good. And they got those pieces on their defense. It's not a solid, it's like not a strong defense, but it's a good enough defense. I guess you can say Bengals should win this one. I don't know why. The total is way too high in my opinion. Like Micah Parsons should be able to tee off on whoever is blocking him because they're bad. They're very, very bad. And yeah, I don't and I don't trust the Cowboys to score points. I don't really care how bad the Cowboys defense is. Like maybe Rico Dowdle puts together 2 good games in a row, but this is a nothing game. I'm sad that this is the game that the Simpsons had to work with, but we can leave it at that, I guess. And yeah, that does it for this episode. Hopefully on Wednesday's show, I will be happy because the Dolphins won, and I will be equally happy because I made my fantasy playoffs. But yeah, did I have anything to say at the end of this show? I think I was like thinking about like, oh, I'll save this till the end of the show. My cut on my chin is healing up nicely post Bills game. I don't know. I guess it's 5 o'clock. Should probably start making some dinner soon. I don't know if Lucy wants to go outside. She's sleeping. We took her to training today. She's doing great, but training tires are out. Usually we have taken her outside between like 4. And I don't know why I'm telling you guys my dog's routine, but usually she's begging for food at this point. And right now, she is dead asleep. But I guess I'll leave it here. If you've liked this, as always, please like, share, retweet, subscribe, tell all your friends. And until next time, peace.